Hello again. My name is Mike. I'm a chaplain with Trinity Christ Ministries. I'm also a relationship coach specializing in intimacy and infidelity issues. So, I want to talk about your first steps after you discover betrayal. You've discovered that your partner is cheating on you. You're an emotional wreck. Your whole entire world has just been burned to the ground. You're you're flooded with all these emotions, reactions, everything that you thought you knew about your relationship with your spouse has been completely destroyed. This is a very hard thing to go through for most people. Some people handle it rather well. Most people do not. So, if you're in this position, if you have just discovered infidelity in your marriage or your relationship, and you are feeling this overwhelming, you know, emotions of not knowing what to do, not knowing what to say, where to start. I want to give you a little bit of help with some guidelines that may help, in fact, will help you deal with this. It won't be easy. There's nothing I can say or anyone else can say that's going to take away the emotional damage and the pain that you're feeling. But you can take steps to help yourself to process the pain and to deal with the pain. So I want to give some guidelines to that you can follow to help with this. Uh, the the very first thing is your safety. This has to be the top priority. Are you safe? Do you have a safe home? Uh, are you having thoughts of unaliving yourself? Is there concern that you may have contracted an STD? Is there abuse? Is the spouse abusive, uh, be it mentally or physically? Um, the first thing is your safety. You need to take care of these steps as soon as possible. That you have a safe place to live. Uh, if you're having thoughts, very bad thoughts about hurting yourself or even someone else, please talk to somebody that's qualified to give you the help to help you work through this. This is very natural to think this way. My life is no longer worth living. I've lost everything that I ever believed in. This is very natural response to betrayal. So talk to someone, seek professional help to help you process this betrayal and get these negative, bad thoughts out of your head. Uh, Trust me, it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I know it doesn't feel that way now, but it will later on. Trust me, it's not worth it. Uh, if you're worried about STDs, I recommend you go get tested. You should go get tested. If there's been a physical relationship in this affair, and there's a very good chance there has, even if your spouse denies it, I would still go get tested. There's no need to take a chance on this. Um, and if you're facing abuse, especially, let's end that immediately. If that involves leaving the house or whatever you have to do, get away from that. Involve the police, whatever it takes to get yourself safe. Um, the next thing you need to worry about is support. You need to talk to someone you trust. Talking is the way to process this pain, even though you probably don't want to talk about it. That's a very common response also. Um, Find someone you trust. Maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a brother or sister, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's your pastor, maybe it's, someone in the congregation, whoever it is, someone that you can trust that will, keep this to themselves and be a shoulder for you to cry on, because we all need support, even if we believe we don't. And men are especially hard to get to do this because they have a lot of pride and they don't, they want to keep their emotions bottled up. And this can lead to very bad things. Uh, the suicide rate for men is 4 to 1. So it's very, unfortunately, a very good possibility. Um, Engage in prayer, get on a prayer wall. We have a prayer wall. If you'd like to come and get on our prayer wall, feel free to do so. You can find us at trinityofchrist.org. Get on our prayer wall. We also have people you can talk to, like me, who are specializing in infidelity. And so, you can get help. Uh, but get on a prayer wall, have lots of people praying for you. God is a powerful weapon against, worldly things. So hopefully, if you're, a godly person, by all means, seek God, seek God's help. Don't make major decisions. This is not good. Trust me. You don't want to make major decisions at a time like this, at a time that you're so vulnerable, and a time that you are, you know, going through all these emotions, all this damage that this person's caused. You want to have time to process this and avoid major decisions like whether you're going to reconcile, you're going to divorce. Take time to yourself to process the pain and the emotions before you make these life-changing decisions. This is something that can take days, weeks, sometimes maybe even a month or two, but don't rush it. Slow down. When we face betrayal, our nervous system goes haywire. So slow down and take time for yourself. Take a breath. Find something to do that will help relieve this stress on you. Maybe you go to the gym. Maybe you like to go fishing. Maybe you like to go hunting. Maybe you join a book club. Maybe you're part of, some private organization that's a little club. Whatever it is, find a way to slow down, relax, and take time for yourself. I know this is very hard to do, but you really need to focus on doing this, because this is going to help you process and help your nervous system come back down to normal levels where you're not going so crazy all the time. Another good thing to do, some counselors and coaches don't really say this, but I recommend it completely. Leave for a short period of time. If you need to go somewhere, maybe you want to go stay with a friend for a few days, a few weeks, then do it. It gets you out of this situation, as far as physically out of the situation, even though it's not mentally yet. But this helps you process this time away, not arguing, not, going through all this with the person who cheated at this point. That'll come later. You've got plenty of time for that. But take some time to yourself. Maybe leave the house, go stay with a friend or somebody for a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, until you feel that you've calmed down and you can look at this from a much more rational perspective without having all these emotions controlling your decisions. Um, a big rule is avoid isolation, avoid being by yourself. For men, this is bad because they tend to want to do this because we keep our feelings bottled up inside. We don't feel like we should share it with someone because we're embarrassed or something like that. Uh, but it's important that we be around people, especially people that we can trust, people that we, see as someone who is safe. Um, be around these people. Be around someone you can talk to. This will help you process a lot better, and again help calm your nervous system to where it comes back down slowly to a normal level. Um, focus on you, not your partner. Focus on yourself. You can't control what your partner does or did. You can control what you do. So focus on you. Focus on recovery. Focus on getting back to normal. Focus on things that you enjoy. This will be hard to do. Very hard to do. Believe me, I'm not trying to make light of this. This will be extremely tough, especially when you are an emotional wreck, like most of us are when we discover betrayal. It's like a death of a loved one because it really, in a sense, is. It's the death of a relationship. So this is not easy to do, but try your best and get the support, the shoulder to cry on, the things you need to help you, move past, this trauma. And I know it feels like you never will, but you will. Everyone believes they won't because of the way they feel, but you will get past it. You just need time. Um, talk to your spouse later. Anything that needs to be settled can be settled at another time. It doesn't have to be settled right now. Talk to your spouse when you feel comfortable, when you're ready. Don't be rushed. Don't be rushed by your spouse. Don't be rushed by a pastor. Don't be rushed by a counselor. Don't be rushed by a friend. Don't be rushed by anybody. You take this time for yourself to process and deal with the trauma and the pain that you're feeling. Don't talk to your spouse until you feel ready to talk to your spouse. That may be tomorrow. It may be a week. It may even be a month. But however long it is, don't do it until you're ready to do it. It's your decision. It's your choice. And don't let everyone pressure you into doing what you're not ready to do yet. If you need time, then take the time. Another one is don't contact the affair partner. Don't do it. I know you may want to. I know it's natural to feel this way. You want to give this person a piece of your mind. You want to make them understand how much they hurt you, how they destroyed your marriage or your relationship. This is very natural. We all feel this way when we've been betrayed. But remember, you know, this person didn't do this by themselves. Your partner, your spouse, let them walk into your marriage. They opened the door. So I'm by no means saying they don't take any responsibility for what they did. they chose to have an affair with a married person. They're absolutely guilty. They're absolutely responsible. But contacting this person is usually not a good idea because you're not going to get the closure you think you're going to get. And if you come to them and you're in this hyper emotional state, there's a good chance you may end up doing something that you really regret later. You may have court dates if this ever goes to court and you have to stand up in front of a judge, and this person says, well, they came over here and tried to attack me or act crazy or, whatever. You just don't want to do it. It's just not a good look, especially if this someday winds up in divorce court. So as much as you may want to contact the affair partner, just, don't do it. Just try your best not to, because believe me, it's not going to make anything better. It's just going to make things worse. Um, and then probably the best piece of advice is contact a therapist or a coach or a counselor. Get some help, get some closure, let someone help you process this pain. I don't recommend ministers, pastors to do this unless they've been trained. Because if you talk to someone that's only going to throw Bible verses at you, this isn't going to be much help. You need someone who's trained to deal with trauma, especially infidelity. So a good Christian counselor is fine, someone who's been trained to use biblical principles to help people deal with infidelity and things like that. But I would definitely seek someone who's been trained to help someone who's going through what you're going through. If you are going through this, I'm sorry. I wish you the best. And I hope you really will take this advice to help you get through this traumatic experience in your life. Uh, like I said, if you need some help, if you want to get on a prayer wall, come to trinityofchrist.org and make a prayer request. We also have coaches if you would like to talk to someone about how you're feeling. Uh, you can also find us on Facebook, as well as here on YouTube. So I thank you for watching today. I wish you the best of luck. Hopefully you're not dealing with this, but if you are, I hope some of this helps what you're going through. Again, I'm Mike with Trinity of Christ Ministries. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.